Hello everyone, this is Wellbeing Class 7 and this week's Wellbeing class is all about taking responsibility. Now it's really important for our well-being to take responsibility for our lives, and there's a lot more to that than just refusing to do what other people tell you to do. I suppose we all need to learn to take responsibility for things like our actions, our thoughts, our feelings, our decisions, the way that we do certain things, the way that we learn, all of that we need to learn how to take responsibility for ourselves, for our own lives. Today I just want to focus on three aspects of taking responsibility. Number one, taking responsibility for your decisions. Number two, taking responsibility for your actions. And number three, taking responsibility for your learning. Now, in relation to taking responsibility for your decisions, my mother has this fabulous little post-it on her fridge that says, "We are a product of our decisions. We are not a product of our circumstances. We are a product of our decisions." And that is very, very true. So we make good decisions, we make bad decisions. The important thing to remember is that you are the person you are because of the decisions that you've made, not because of the circumstances that you find yourself in, and not because of what other people may or may not have done to you or said to you, or the things that are happening in the world around you. You are the person that you are because of the good and the bad decisions that you've made. So task number one, I'd like you to reflect on some of the decisions that you may have made recently. If there was a good decision, how do you know that was a good decision? If there was a bad decision that you made recently, it may have been a big one, it may have been something small. If there was a bad decision that you made recently, is there something that you can do to fix it? Is there something that you can do if it affected or hurt other people? For example, a bad decision that you might have made in the past, it may have been, it may have been your turn to cook the dinner, for example, and you made the decision to play your video game for an extra 10 minutes so that somebody else had to start cooking instead. Maybe it's time to take responsibility for that decision and own up to the fact that you made a bad decision. Maybe apologize to that person who had to start cooking the dinner instead of you. And maybe in the future, with that in mind, make the conscious decision to, plan your time better if you know it's going to affect other people. So that's just one task and one aspect of taking responsibility, okay? And realizing and acknowledging the fact that your decisions are, your decisions make you who you are. The second part of taking responsibility that we're going to talk about today is taking responsibility for your actions. So again, this is really important, and this is the kind of thing that's on the news at the moment. This is the kind of thing that we've been having drilled into us for the last number of weeks. Our actions during this crisis are hugely important. So I'd like you to reflect on something that you may have done that was positive in the last few weeks, an action that you took that was good. And then maybe reflect on something that you did over the last few weeks that maybe was not quite so good. And again, acknowledge the fact that you need to take responsibility for these actions. See if there's something that you can do to repair. If you caused damage or if you caused hurt or upset to someone with your actions, see if there's something that you can do to fix that problem. Or if it's something, that you may have, for example, done something to hurt someone in your family, or something that you feel very guilty about. Like, guilt is a huge, huge thing. If you're talking about your well-being in general, guilt is something that can interfere with your well-being immensely. So if there's an action that you took that you can undo, or that you can apologize for, then that's something that would be task 2. And the third part then of taking responsibility is taking responsibility for your own learning. Now, it's very, very easy to blame others. It's very easy to blame teachers. It's very easy to blame the system. It's very easy to blame your parents for giving you lots of housework that don't allow you to learn or don't allow you to study. It's very easy to blame COVID-19 for being stuck in a situation where you're not in the classroom and not in your normal learning environment. But ultimately, for your own well-being, you need to learn and you need to acknowledge the fact that you are the person who is responsible for your own learning. A teacher is responsible for teaching, a parent is responsible for parenting, but a learner is responsible for their own learning. No one else can do the learning for you. People can give you information, people can assist you in finding information, people can make suggestions as to how you apply that information, but ultimately it's back then to your own decisions and back to your own actions, that you need to accept responsibility for your own learning. And you need to know that you are the person you are today because of the responsibility that you have taken or have not taken for your own learning. So task number 3 is to think about something related to your learning that you maybe did well on, or something good that you did for your learning during these weeks of lockdown. And then maybe think about, was there something that you did during these few weeks of online learning that was not so good for your learning? And is there a way that you can fix that? Can you ask for help with something, or is it just a case of knuckling down and doing some revision, or have you missed something? Have a think about that, and have a think about how you can take responsibility for your own learning from here on in, or how you can backdate taking responsibility for your own learning. Okay, so they're the 3 aspects of taking responsibility that I wanted to talk to you about today. So that is taking responsibility for your decisions, taking responsibility for your actions, and taking responsibility for your learning. Okay.